Hello everyone, welcome back to the full stack web development course where we are developing the Stack Overflow clone, a live project. So in this project, we are targeting the UI part first. So we have completed the navbar as well as the left side bar and the right side bar as well as the login page as well as the sign up page. So now what we wanna do, we are just going to target this main bar, but you may see this main bar, the data we have used in this main bar is from the backend. Since we didn't yet completed the front end. After completing the front end only we can go to the back end. So after completing, since we don't have any back end, so we couldn't get any data from that. So as of now, we for developing this UI of the main bar, what I'm gonna do, I'm just going to use some hard-coded data with odds, answers, as well as question with who asked it or time period as well as the tags used. So we will do this. Before that, you may see on the right side bar the font size has been changed. I have reduced the font size to 13px for both the h4 tags as well as the p tags. In the previous lecture, I have provided a font size of 14px for the p tags. So change that. That's what I have changed a bit. So now we will just close these widgets and we will close this right side bar too, and we will open the home main bar. In that, we're gonna have the home main bar.css file also, home main bar dot css as well. And so now we will just start coding. So first we're gonna need link tag. So let me just import that, and we're gonna also use another hook called use location. These things are imported from react-router-dom. So I will explain also about this use location hook, and this is the link tag which we have used already in many previous lectures. So first what we're gonna do, we will just first import the home main bar css dot slash home main bar dot css, and in that first what we want, first we need these datas like the odds, answers, as well as the title of the question, as well as tags used, as well as who you asked it how much days ago. So we need these datas. So as of now we are just going to use hard coded datas. So I have already coded that. Let me just copy paste it over here. So in here let me just paste those things. So these are commented. Let me just uncomment everything, just give a tab space over here, and we have to eliminate this comment also. So now you can see question list is nothing but an array of objects. This is an array with objects as an element. So we have three objects here. You can see we do have three objects with an id 1 2 3 and odds, number of answers, question title, as well as question body, as well as question tags, and user posted it, as well as the time. So we will just change this time to variable called asked on asked on. So like this, which is going to be a valid variable because time is not apt variable. So asked on is going to be a nice variable, asked on. Okay. um, what next? We just gonna create the div. We just going to give a class name for this div tag, which is gonna be main dash bar, and we're gonna use another div tag to just denote the top questions. We will just put this top questions and this ask button inside one div tag, and we will put these this thing as well as this entire container in one div tag. So that's what we are going to do. So first you will use a div tag with a class name of called main bar dash header, like so, and then in here we will check the location. If it is in the home page, we will just say it is top questions. So if it is inside slash questions page, then we're gonna say all questions. So that's what we're going to do. So so we have to check this location of the path name, the URL, what path is it in. So to check that, what we can use this use state hook, which I have imported from React Router DOM. So in here, I'm just going to use that as const location, which equals use location, and then let me just copy this, and in here let me just have a set of curly braces, and in here I'm just going to say location dot path name. Consider location as a object. In that we will be having a variable called path name, a key called path name. If its value triple equals single slash, which means we are in the home page, then we will just return a h1 tag of top questions. So if it is not in the home page, then we will return a h1 tag of all questions, like so. So we will go here, our application. You may see we do have the top questions. Don't consider this is the right side bar is here, the top question is on above everything. Don't consider it now. We will style those things in the while we are entering into the CSS part of this page. So in the home page it shows ask question page. If we go to the questions page, nothing is here. So we will just now create a page for this questions. So let me just open it here. Inside the pages we will create a folder called questions, and in that we're going to create a page called questions.jsx. Give a enter, just do an RFCE shortcut, and in here we're just going to use everything which we have used in the home CSS. We will just copy these things and paste it down here with just one change. Just going to give this as questions, as well as in here also we will just have questions. So there's no difference between home as well as questions. Maximum it is the same thing. The home as well as the question is nothing but the same one. There's no difference between them. So that's why we are using the questions. But inside the questions we will be having other pages. Like if we just click on this question, we have to be routed to this page. So these pages will come inside this questions directory, as well as we have to go to the login page, since we the ask question page. So we have to go to the ask question page, since we haven't logged in. The ask question page won't work out. So these ask question page, as well as this display question page, as well as posting an answer, these will be inside this questions directory, don't worry about that. So now mm, we will go down here. So so we will go to this question sidebar, right? Where's the question sidebar? We go to this left sidebar. In that we do have the where I have used those link for the questions. So we do have linked it to the questions, but we have to provide the route for this question path. So that's how it will work. So to give that, we have to go to the all routes page. So inside all routes page, we will just import questions from dot slash pages slash questions slash question. So in here, let me just copy this thing again, and in the auth, I will just change it as questions as well, and in the element also, let me just have the same thing, and that's it. Let me just refresh, and you can see we are inside the home page now. We will go to the questions page now. It shows like all questions page, and we are inside the questions page now, as in the URL as well as in the nav link is active now in the question, as well as we are inside all questions. So that's how we can change the. So this is why React is much more dynamic. I don't want to write separate pages for home as well as questions. I can just do the same thing inside only one file, and I can just have it in two places like home as well as questions. I don't want to write two pages or two files for separate for home as well as one separate thing for questions. So now we will just close this all routes as well as questions as well as home. So we are inside this home main bar now. The next thing what we gonna have is the link tag. In the link tag, we're gonna just give a to ask question because as soon as I click this ask question, we have to route to the. So let me just log in first. So we have logged in. You can see we have already logged in now. So if we just ask a question, you may see we have entered into a ask question page. So in here we can ask a public question like this, and we can just review my question. So as soon as I click this ask question button, we have to route to this ask question page. So that's why we are providing a link tag with the to attribute to ask question, and inside that we just going to have a ask question as a word, and in here we'll just have a class name for the link tag called ask dash btn, like so. So if I just go down here, you can see we have the ask questions button. So then we are just going to create another div tag. Inside that we will check first the question list is empty or not. So if it is not empty, we will display those things. If questions list dot triple equals null, then I will return h1 tag of loading, which is like a preloader for us. So this h1 tag is not auto completed. Loading triple dot, we will give it a triple dot for that. So it's like this is like a preloader. If questions list is not loaded, if we are making this page as dynamic, we will receive this question list from the backend. So while we are receiving that, it may take some time to send the request as well as receive the response. So In that meantime, we will show this preloader as loading. So that's why we are using h1 tag with the loading. If the questions has been received, then what I'm gonna do, I'm just going to have an empty angle brackets, and inside that I'm just going to have a p tag with uh, questions list dot length, which is gonna give me the number of questions present inside this array, and in that we're gonna have questions like so. Questions list dot length gives the number of question, and I'm just going to have the number of question. If it is like 3, we have 3 questions, we will return as 3 questions. And in here I'm just going to have a separate component. You can see here it is now 3 questions. Now I'm just going to have separate component to display these questions like this. I'm just going to have a separate component called. So first we will just create the component before using that. So wait a minute. Hello. So where I have left, so we have to create a component called questions here. So we will just create that, and sorry, in that we will just have a JSX, right? So then now here we will just have, we have to loop through that particular question, and that question is going to be questions. So what's the, yes, it is question. It's going to be a component. So let me just import it here. Import questions from / questions like so. And here, so let me just refresh. It shouldn't throw any error for us, but it shows expected a string or a class function. So it's like we didn't export, we don't have anything here, that's why it shows error. We just have an RAFCE. So in here what we can just do, so before calling this, what we can do, just eliminate this thing, and I'm just going to loop through that. I'm just going to have another angle tags, empty angle tags. Inside that I'm just going to say questions list dot map. Sorry, we have to do a dot map, and in that we can use an array function. So the first parameter is going to be question, the individual question, and in that we will be having another. So I think we don't need this braces because we already we are inside that only. So let me just remove this. So let me just give a shift and backspace, sorry, shift tab, so it will go one step back. And I'm just not going to return any JavaScript, I'm just going to return JSX. So I have to use parenthesis here. So yeah, questions list dot map. So here I'm just going to have the questions as a component, and in here I'm just going to pass question equals question. So we have passed the individual question as a parameter, so we choose an error. So we have passed a parameter called question to that. Don't mind the error, this is because we didn't have a prop in that component, that's why it shows the error. And we have to give a key for that. If you have seen the past lecture, we have used a key for that question, and in that question we do have the ID which is going to be unique, so we're just going to give that. So I think we don't even need this brackets also. We'll just give another backspace. So instead of doing things here, what we can do, we can just create another component called questions list dot jsx. So inside the questions list, what we can do, we will just copy these things, and we can go to the questions list, and we can just have an array of CE, and in that we will just neglect this div because we will just have an angle bracket, and here we will just have a curly brace. Inside that we will drop these things. So in here I can just remove these things, and what I can do, I'm just going to have the question dot list, and I'm just going to pass the question list as a prop, question list, which equals the same question list. So I'm just going to close this, and I'm just going to import these things. So we will now, sorry, we will just remove this. It is already imported. So we will go to this question list now. We will just have the question list as a prop in here with it should be inside curly set brackets, so that's how it can be used, and the questions can be imported also. We'll just import the question from dot slash questions. So we have imported the question as well. Sorry, this is questions. So we have imported the question now, and what we can do inside the questions, we will just get those things as a prop. We will just get the question as a prop. So we got the question, individual question. So we will style that individual question in here. So first, so what we can do first, we will just name this div tag with a class name which equals display dash votes dash ans, and sorry, this is gonna be display answer container. So dash container like so, and in that we'll be having a div tag with a class name of display dash votes dash ans, and in here we will have a p tag with the number of votes, so which is nothing but the votes question dot votes, sorry, votes, and we will have a p tag, and in here we will just have another, sorry, we will just have another p tag with what's called votes, and we do have another div tag with a class name of display